Moonbirds officially announced their token, NFT strategy collections continue to dominate, and brand new whitelists you don't want to fade. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video, the #1 NFT YouTube channel in the entire world. Today I want to talk about what's been going on in the NFT market, how I plan on playing the upcoming NFT strategy launches, as well as a ton more. However, as usual, I am not a financial advisor, but if you appreciate me consistently putting out these videos, bull or bear, would you kindly hit that subscribe button? I really want to hit 100K before the end of the cycle. So if you can hit subscribe, it's free to do and it helps me out a lot. And with that, let's jump right into today's video, starting off with Moonbirds officially announcing the BIRB token, which they did at an IRL event at Token 2049 in Singapore. However, this didn't come as much of a shock. We already knew a token was coming because they paid to be listed on Kaido under the pre-TGE leaderboard right here, Moonbirds. So we all knew a token was coming. It was just when are they going to announce it? And now it's when are they actually going to go live and how is the airdrop going to work? Now, a lot of people, myself included, were speculating that they were going to announce at this event. It just made sense considering it's the biggest event of the year remaining outside of Art Basel, but that's way too late in the year for them to do that. And we also saw it in the floor as the floor went from 2.75 and slowly trickled up. However, 2 days ago, October 1st, it really started to boom, going all the way up to 3.7 ETH. It was up over 33% just in speculation of them announcing a token. Now, the morning of the event, it seemed like people were getting scared. Maybe it was some of the blur farmers. Like everybody's just trying to buy Opensea listings to get Opensea XP. So whenever there's blur listings, they can really wreck a floor. And we did see a lot of people accepting bids. However, the second they announced, we just saw a big candle on the chart. I got lucky. I managed to snipe one off of the tweet within a minute and just rode this up and sold it for over $1,000 in profits. And really, this was just a great catalyst to be getting Opensea volume. You want to be trading these kind of catalysts to safely get volume, especially when you're trading in size. And you can see I've done over 100 ETH in volume on Moonbirds alone, and I'm in profit. I'm up $16,000 after fees trading Moonbirds, and I'm trading very quickly. Like I want to make profits off of my trades, but I also just want to get volume. I'm sometimes flipping for $40 profit. Now, what I don't like here is that it pretty much was a pump and dump back to pre-announcement levels at 3.6 right now. And a lot of this has to do with it being somewhat priced in since we did know a token was coming, and it's feeling a bit like Doodles or Azuki type marketing rather than Pudgy Penguins with Pengu. For Pudgies, when they announced it, it was a surprise for most people and we didn't have to wait long. You can see the floor just completely takes off here, going up 3x all the way to like 37 ETH at the top. However, I will say there was insider information going around where apparently people knew they were going to get airdropped 100K, so they had no problem buying Pudgies up this high. However, they had the advantage of being the first token that launched, as well as dropping really quickly. As opposed to Azuki with anime or Doodles with the dude token, I would much rather it be like Azuki than with Doodles, because Azuki, we at least saw a steady run up in the chart before, yeah, it nuked with the airdrop, but at least it just went up and up and up until the token launched. As opposed to Doodles, this was the initial pump that we saw where they went from 3 ETH all the way to 5. And then every single pump after that didn't live up to the original pump. You can see here's when they announced, I guess, like tokenomics. So it only went up to roughly 5 ETH and not 8. And then after that, it just went back down. It trickled sideways. And then leading into the actual drop, there was a little pump and then boom, it fell off and it has not been able to recover ever since. So I would much rather have that steady climb as opposed to just pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, and it never goes back to the original pump. So I think the next catalyst for Moonbirds is going to be them announcing their tokenomics, them announcing the launch date, as well as just everybody figuring out and doing moon math on the airdrop. Of course, no one outside of the team knows what the airdrop is going to look like. I'm assuming that Moonbirds, Mythics, and Oddities are going to get the airdrop, as well as potentially those collectibles that we recently minted on Solana. However, that's still to be determined. And for the time being, I'm just going to continue trading these and farming Opensea chest XP. Speaking of which, we just got a brand new chest unlock or reveal, which is the Ruby chest. Of course, with my volume, I've already unlocked it on reveal, so I'm not exactly sure how much volume it took to get this. However, if we look at this Dune dashboard, which is not official, you could see on this wallet, I have nearly 700,000 XP, and it currently says I'm Ember 1. Again, for the final two levels, Ember and Solar, we don't know if these numbers are legit. Whoever made this just made them up. The team has already confirmed that. But it does allow you to see your volume. It allows you to see how you compare to others, because there's only 26 people in Solar. There's only 35 people in Ember, and so on. And I also like that it gives us some targets. For example, Solar 3, you could see the lowest person here that we're estimating has it is 1.8 mil. Solar 2, 1.5 mil in volume. For Solar, you need 1.1 mil. Then after that, we have Ember. And just to show you the current level, which is the Ruby chest, technically, according to this, it takes you 284,000 XP. For Ruby level 2, the lowest that I see in this board is going to be 378, so around there. And then for Ruby level 3, it's going to be 471,000 XP. So again, this is not official, but it's a great way to check your volume. I will link it in the description down below. Now, the next best place to be getting Opensea XP, in other words, to be farming into heavy volume, that's what I'm doing. I am looking for volume and I am trading there, is going to be the NFT strategy tokens, which, while we didn't get a full announcement, we have an announcement of an announcement, and that is that we should have an update today. So yesterday, by the time you guys watch this, on the audit. Hopefully everything went well. Hopefully there's not more exploits in the contract. Hopefully they solve the problem of whoever is able to steal funds from the fees and just spend it on his NFTs, like selling a Moonbird for 50 ETH or whatever he's doing. However, I must say I've done quite well on this narrative. In my opinion, it is the easiest narrative to trade. It is the easiest narrative to farm Opensea volume. You can see here for Goblintown, I've traded 30, or I've bought 34. I've already sold 17, and I'm up $7,000. So we've just been actively trading these in my community, Guerrilla Labs. I'll link that below if anybody would like to join. However, the floor is looking great on Goblintowns. We are remaining really high at 0.28 ETH. I think these easily go to 0.4 and potentially even see them go to 0.5. You could check my listings here. I've listed from 0.3 all the way to 0.5. However, I will say there's a lot of listings that are building up, so hopefully there's enough volume to just sweep all of this. After Goblintown, we have checks, which checks the floor is much thinner. We have to remember there's two collections here. There's revealed and unrevealed, but I really like the floor of this one. I currently hold, I think, how many? 4 or 5 at the moment. Maybe I'm going to grab some more. And if we just sweep 25 ETH, which is nothing when you look at how much they raised with cryptos, it takes us all the way to 0.6. So that's really good. I really like seeing that. After that, we're going to have Max Pain. I think these are being slept on because most people, they just see the same NFT over and over. It's on the more expensive side, and they don't necessarily understand xcopy. So I think these are going to do really well. If we just sweep a little bit, it takes us all the way to 1.2 ETH. That's obviously with $200,000. But again, when we see the fees that these guys are raising, that is nothing. I currently have 5 all listed at the moment, all the way to 1.5. Hopefully I sell all of those. After that, we have Good Vibes Club, which this one has been trending really nicely. I have been actively trading this, as well as Max Pain, but I've been actively trading this one just for volume. I'm only up like $500, nothing crazy. Now, I am seeing some walls being formed here, like at 0.69. But again, I really think the team is going to use this momentum to break their all-time high. So I do feel underexposed on this one. I feel like when they announce the official date, if it's soon, if they say, I'm really hoping today or like Saturday or Monday, I think Goblintown is going to be the first one to get swept because they're the cheapest. But then I think people are going to turn to Good Vibes Club. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And then the only one I don't have exposure in is going to be Milady's. We did see it break 2 ETH. There was a dump here. And that's because, in my opinion, there was a fake NFT strategy coin, which doesn't mean it has to be from TokenWorks to be legit. But we saw one that just rugged or it got exploited or whatever. So that's really not good. The floor is actually lower by 0.1 than where they started. So hopefully they're able to take this back above 2 ETH. And this one I'm really going to judge on the day of. Maybe I'll play it on the day of, but I do not have a position in it. And then after that, we have Adam asking, hey, what should we do next? So it's clear that they are going to be launching more strategy tokens. It's all going to funnel back into Punk Strategy, which has been performing incredibly well. You could see it put in a new all-time high of like 156 million market cap. It has been pretty much up only outside of the bugs that happened down here. But I'm just going to be looking through this to see what are the communities that are standing out. What are people really posting about? I know the Chimpers community is really trying to get a strategy coin. Here you have Dith saying good luck, have fun, right? His community. You have Betty for the Dead Fellas. So you have some founders out here pushing for their own coin. We already saw some speculation in the NAkamigos. There's also a lot of whales who are kind of just pumping and potentially pumping and dumping them. I don't want to accuse anybody, but I think these can easily go back above like 2 or 0.2, maybe 0.25. Same thing for Chimpers. This was the original pump. Floor was very thin, but it still is quite thin. So if they get a token, this thing is going to go to 0.9 very quickly. And then same thing for Cool Cats, goes up really fast. And all these names make sense. So it's really a coin toss. I think people are just going to be playing the speculation game. And this might be a good beta play to all of the ones that we're seeing launch, even just for volume, right? I'm always thinking back to how can I get free Opensea volume without losing any money? And it's not just ETH strategy coins that are really pushing this narrative forward. We're seeing some on Bitcoin, we're seeing some on hyperliquid. I saw this Hypurr Strategy token, which is for the Hypurr NFTs. And these guys are doing incredibly well, currently at a $9 million market cap, recently hitting all-time highs of 14 million after a whale came in and swept like $2 million worth of Hypurs and then spread them out to his farming wallet. So these have performed incredibly well. I really regret not trading these. If you just caught the lows here, it was around 1,000 hype and it went all the way up currently pretty much at all-time highs to 1550 hype, $70,000. And the lows, let's just go check one out here. If you caught the low, 46K all the way to 70K, like with the price of hype, $50 per hype, people are not doing the math on how much money they're losing when they're accepting a bid. They're just like panic getting out. And this was such an easy trade, huge fumble by me, but great to see them doing well and great to see a strategy around it. I am not endorsing the strategy. Like I have no idea who's behind this. We did see a Hypurr Strategy rug, so you need to be careful, but they're doing well. They currently have 4. They had 5 when I started filming. So they actually just sold one, which I assume explains this green candle. And then after that, we have NodeStrategy, who just did a Dutch auction. They raised over $3 million to put into the NodeMonkes floor. So this one should launch in the next 48 hours, I believe. They're just getting things ready, the website and all that. I'm not sure how it's going to work tech-wise because Bitcoin is pretty slow. However, I am looking forward to it. Even though I don't have exposure to many ordinals, we did get a collab in my community, Guerrilla Labs. So we will be getting free token airdrops to some of our lucky members. And just another one I'm looking forward to seeing how it does. I also saw on Solana, Mike Doodles is pushing for a Bodoggos token on Solana. So I really hope this pans out because I hold a ton of Bodoggos. Here we see Easy, we see Clemente, and some other team members really pushing for this. So I love this narrative. I think it's great for NFTs. You're taking money from a super liquid market, the token market, and bringing it into NFTs, which has not been the best this cycle. After that, let's cover some NFT news before we get into some upcoming whitelists. First, we have 9gag announcing that Potatoz is their official mascot, which I saw him in an interview and he did say this was going to happen. So it's funny that they pumped now that it's official as opposed to when he originally announced it. But here saying, you know, to their 200 million fans, they're going to be exposed to Potatoz. They're also going to have a badge. I'm not exactly sure how the badges work on 9gag, but really cool. And we saw a nice pump here going from 0.18 all the way to 0.32 before retracing it back down to 0.25. Of course, the captains, which is the higher NFT than Potatoz, need to stay higher in price. So we saw them pump to 0.4. So that was really cool to see for 9gag. And then on the Doodles side, we finally have the Fruit Loops partnership going live. This is going to be a $72 limited edition cereal box with no cereal inside, cereal not included. But you basically get this like nice art cereal box. One lucky person is going to get an original sketch for the cereal box from Burnt Toast, and then 50 of 500 people, so 10%, are going to get a signed cereal box from Burnt Toast, which this is already sold out. So whoever got it, GG. I would have ordered one if I was fast enough. But with this, the Doodles floor has come back down to its pre-pump prices of 0.8. So looking forward to seeing what next partnerships they have, because Burnt Toast did say a huge month is coming, and they already did Froot Loops as well as Red Bull. So what's next? Who knows? And then last but not least, let's cover two upcoming whitelists that just spawned. The first one is going to be Neiro, which is a meme coin on ETH. It did really well. This thing went all the way up to 1 billion. Obviously, the meme coin narratives, right? Things go down, but they're still sitting above 100 million market cap, which is really impressive. And now they've just announced their Neiro Woofer starter packs, which is going to be an NFT collection of 3,333. Obviously, we saw this do really well on Solana, like the whole meme coin NFT narrative. And we also have had some pretty successful ones on ETH. So this is definitely something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm going to try to get whitelisted for. The other one is going to be the new Games Pass by ohbabygames, which I backtracked my videos to go see. I first originally spoke about this like over 2 years ago, as I was really excited when I saw their games and I really wanted an NFT. Well, we're finally getting it. It is going to be a Games Pass. It is going to be dropping on the #1 exchange in the world, which is Opensea. As you can see here, it's dropping on October 8th at 8 a.m. Eastern. It is going to be a supply of 1,250 and a mint price of 0.1. More on the expensive side, right? $450 for a Game Pass. The Game Pass itself does have in-game utility, so it links to all of their games, for which if we look on Steam, they currently have 5. They have Oh Baby Kart, which is their flagship game. It is a kart racing game similar to Mario Kart. Extremely fun game. I adore this one. Their second game, which is paid, I did play the demo for free. Personally, not my thing. It's a deck builder card game where you like put down cards. If you're playing the Pirate Nation on Abstract, it feels very similar. The third game that they released, which is free to play, anybody can try it out, is a competitor to Super Smash Brothers called Bam Bam Boom. Not my favorite name, to be honest. I think the name is a work in progress, but the game's cool. I tried it. It's still very early stages. Definitely not as far as Oh Baby Kart. Then after that, this one is Wishlist, but it's another deck builder called Poker. However, I think they're doing beta for certain people who want to test this one out. And the final one is Tori, which is a 2D platformer. I really like these games. I've played a ton of different ones. So if they have a good story here, if they have some good levels in gameplay, this could be a hit. So definitely a really cool studio that's building dope looking games, and their NFT actually has in-game utility. Essentially what they're saying is it's going to, I mean, it's a Games Pass, but you're going to use it to unlock achievements, unlock levels, as well as rewards, and it's all going to be attached to your NFT. And they also count retro activity. So if you've been playing for the last year plus all their games, you are going to start at a higher level. You're going to start with rewards, meaning the people who have put in the hours and are playing their games that manage to get their hands on this NFT are going to have NFTs worth more. Now, I don't know how that's going to work if you mint multiple or if you buy some on the secondary market and attach it to your account. Maybe you can only do it for one NFT that's officially linked and gets the benefit of all your retroactivity. However, this is definitely something I am very excited about. I haven't played in a minute, but I put in a ton of hours in the first year into the karting game, as well as tried out some of their other games. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to all the things they're building. I want them to succeed as a gaming studio. As for whitelist, you can see here it says Oh Baby Community and then a public stage. It makes perfect sense that they give all the whitelist to their players. No Twitter raffles, no Discord collabs, everything to their actual players, which I know a lot of people now are going crazy in the Discord saying, hey, I'm an OG, I've been here forever. They could just check your game history. Like, there's no lying or getting around it. You either played the games or you didn't. Now, what I do recommend doing is going on their website, going to the account settings, and then scrolling to the bottom and linking a wallet, which they said you should do. This is how you're going to get whitelist, right? If you are eligible. You can also do it in the game launcher itself. So definitely recommend doing this, because personally, I'm going to mint this. Like, I'm super excited about this. I know it's a more expensive mint price, but I don't care. I want one. If I can mint multiple, great. But with that ends today's video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel reach a wider audience. But even more, if you can hit that subscribe button, That would mean the world to me. It's free to do. Hit the notification bell while you're down there. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video. Peace.